feels the most like a car commercial, but I love it. New Mitsubishi Eclipse. 40 miles to the gallon. 2-year warranty. No financing available now.
Hello, welcome to my Kenny Beats 24-hour beat battle breakdown thing. This was a really fun one, I will admit. It was a bit stressful because I had to do it in like 2 hours or an hour and a bit, because I only realised it was a thing and when it was ending, and yeah. But yeah, this will be interesting. I am really unorganised in my sessions, so bear with me. Yeah, let's just get into it. Let's just start with the sample. So the sample was, as we all know, that horrible trumpet thing. Yeah, RIP to the people who had to hear it at the wedding. Anyway, this is what I did. I put it in Melodyne to try and get rid of the background noise so I could just have a clear melody. I heard the melody in my head, and I chopped it up and turned it into this. So you can hear it's still pretty choppy in a lot of places. It's not perfect, but it does the job. I kind of like that little sound after. Anyway, so I melodyned it, chucked OTT on it, and chopped it up. So that was the original melody, like the original loop, and then I was like, oh, I'll get rid of some parts just so it's not as complicated, doesn't take up so much space, it's more just simple. High passed it because there was a lot of weird low end information that you weren't hearing. Put OTT on it just to get it sounding really like abrasive, and then just a bit of EQ after. Sent it to a reverb, just the stock Ableton reverb, and then I sent it to Valhalla Vintage, so you ended up with this. So if I turn off that OTT, you can hear it's doing a lot. Kind of adds a bit of shriekness to it, which I kind of like. It helps it cut through the mix. So it's kind of necessary. So basically when I had that melody sorted out, I instantly heard the chords being like this descending bass line, so I made this synth in Serum. Super simple, just a saw wave thing, simple envelope, bit of filter, modulation, distortion. Could not be more simple. And that's the beautiful thing about this. This whole beat is actually really simple. It's only like 55 tracks. It's nothing. Put Effect Rack on after for some decapitator, because I don't have the individual plugins, because Effect Rack as a whole was like 99 bucks when I bought it, super cheap. And then it had everything except Alter Boy, which I bought later. Then I put this 2A on it just to, basically as a limiter, just controlling the levels. So yeah, put that together, it sounds nice. I have the bed there, and I sat with that for a while, and then I started on the drums. The drums sound like this. So yeah. The mix on these drums, I'll admit, is really lazy. I literally just grabbed the Ableton drum bus, the stock drum bus, smashed it. Well, initially I smashed it, then I toned it back way, like a lot. SSL channel. Looks like I boosted at 4.5K. High passed it a bit, because there was a lot of low end going on, especially with like the bass synth and stuff. But then at like 50 hertz, because I wanted the kick to really punch through, because I had a hard time with getting the kick to really hit, and then I added some compression. Super simple. But yeah, I initially had this Kenny Beats break. Thank you, Kenny. So yeah, EQ'd it a lot to try and just not have it. I wanted it more as percussion, not like the main drum sounds. So I just put it way in the background. Had heaps of snares, couldn't decide which ones I liked. So I kind of just mixed them all together, took the best bits, and ended up with this, which, you know, I'll admit isn't like the best sound, but it kind of suits this indie pop rock, whatever you want to call it, vibe. And they're just sending to a reverb and effect rack, which has a delay on it, I think. Echo Boy. Yeah. Echo Boy Jr. just doing a 32 note delay. It's nice, just adds a bit of room sound to it. The kick is from Oliver Power Tools. It's like the most EDM sounding kick ever, but it just had that low end information that I liked. And then I used Spitfire Audio's Labs thing they have this drum sound bank that sounds crazy, so I just chucked that in. And then to finish it, I put this 808 clap. Just to like give it some spice, but because everything's compressing so hard, it barely cuts through, so you kind of just hear it in the background. It's really nice though. But because it's sending to the reverb, you still hear like the tail end of it, which is really nice. So if I put these drums with this bass together, you kind of get a feel for the track. So yeah, that's it so far. Next, for most of the texture and the tonality of the song, it's guitars that I recorded on this bad boy. This is a knockoff homemade Stratocaster with horrible pickups, and it goes out of tune as soon as I play it, but it's all I have, so anytime I want to record with it, I'm kind of forced to go for a more grungy, or like not super clean Prince tone. So all the guitar parts together sound like this. Yeah, I was in a rush. I started this battle in like the last 2 hours that it was running, so I was a little bit pressured. Anyway, so we have a bass part, which is still the guitar, but I've just pitched it down. I think no, I didn't use Alter Boy. I just pitched it down in the clip. Yeah, but I kept the formants, so sounds a bit odd. It's cool though. Britt Pre from Analog Obsession. Shout out Felix for showing me that one. I'm a big fan of it, especially because it's modeled after the 1073, which is my favorite preamp. And then we're going into compressor that I don't think I even... Yeah, I did a little bit to it. Not a whole lot. I kind of just chucked it on there for level. Effect rack, of course, decapitator. I was going to do delay straight on the track, but then I thought it was too busy to have that. And then I put chorus on it, because without the chorus it's pretty boring. It sounds like this. It's not interesting, it's pretty uninspired, but with it on, it sounds like this. It's nice, I like it. Next is the other guitar parts, which is these. I just double tracked this part. Same chain, it's all the same chain. Except these do have the delay on them. Yeah, I did not try to keep on time with this at all in my playing. Sounds awful. Then I had these like counter melody happening, which I panned one take at the melody octave. Well, sorry, an octave below the melody, the main melody, which is the trumpet sample. Panned that right. And then pan left, an octave up. You know, I thought that was kind of pretty. Next, oh yeah, our vocals. That's kind of a big part of the track. I remember Kenny saying he liked those. These were pretty rushed, so I am definitely going to cringe hearing these. Anyway, I've split everything up into groups because I like recorded like 4 or 6 like stacks per harmony, like per layer. Anyway, you'll hear it. It's not my best, I'll admit. It's kind of rough. I don't love it, to be honest. But anyway, I digress. Every group is sending... Every group should be sending. Not every group is sending to a reverb. Yeah, whatever. Anyway. So we have the main melody, the... So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tracks of that. Pan, just they are all hard pan left and right. SSL channel, just to keep it glued, really. I'm using the backing Vox preset on the SSL channel. I didn't turn off the analog. Oh well. Anyway. Oh, it looks like I didn't even touch this because I didn't send a channel out either. Man, I was rushing. I was really rushing. Anyway. What this does is basically the compression kind of just glues everything together. It's really nice. And then it adds this really beautiful crispness on the high end, which I needed because I'm recording on an NT1A and it's a pretty dull microphone. I don't know. Compared to other things, it's could be better. So I always just have to boost the highs in post, like when mixing it. Because I work in pop music a lot, so everything needs to be crispy and stuff. Anyway, moving on to the next part, to the harmony, which is, that's the bass, but it's an octave. It's not like, ooh, it's, which I was going to go like, oh, maybe I should retrack that, sing it again, but I was kind of running out of time. So together it sounds like this. It's the same preset. All of these have the exact same preset. And then the next part is... I think that together sounds really nice. And then lastly is this other one, which is kind of like the turnaround. So it's kind of like a call and response. You have... So it's... And it works. Anyway, don't let me nerd away. Next we have some background Foley. That's just in the background of the track the entire time, just to add some ambience. So I had my iPhone, got the Notes app or the Voice Memos app, just pressed record at 6 p.m, left it at my front door, and just left it for ages because I live near a highway, so you can't just have like cars going by and just random sounds in the neighborhood and stuff. So it sounds like this. So you can kind of hear just background noise all the time. It's really nice. I high passed it a bit because I didn't want it to be super low-endy. Next is Ear Candy. So synth stuff. Had this little Juno emulation thing going on. It's literally just playing that B the whole time. Crystallizer, because it's Crystallizer. Vintage Verb for reverb. EQ for EQ, and then Filter Freak doing its filtery, freaky thing. I kind of automate that a bit when the drums drop out at the end of the beat. Kind of goes down. There we go. Just so it's not like too much in the forefront. I then had this note that just holds a B as well. It's got crystallizer on it too. And then I go up the octave. And at the end I just do a piano roll. And I love how crystallizer does that weird thing. At the end, if you put your pitch up an octave and you have like the recycle turned up a bit, it'll freak out of it when you do something like that, because it just makes that cool sparkly sound. And I really liked that because that was a nice, almost like a chime sound. It was a good transitional sound between the main section of the track being really busy and it kind of just coming down to this lower section. Because I go out from this. So yeah, you can kind of hear how the main melody of the trumpet's really loud, super in the forefront, then it comes down an octave and everything kind of cuts back a little bit. You don't have the synth bass anymore, it's just like the guitars, drums, which don't have the hats going anymore, so it's much more simpler drum part. Everything's kind of like peeling back, it's kind of coming down, it's wrapping up. Which is kind of hard to do, like, to be able to express a full idea in a minute is really tricky, so that was kind of just like a last minute decision to go like, oh, maybe I should do this, this, and this. Anyway, very long tangent. Cutting this Juno sound with the piano roll thing, I think was nice. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for that section, the main section. Then we come into this more lower section. So yeah, it's kind of pretty. So with the sample, what I did was I took it from it being super loud and abrasive, pitched it down an octave, just to kind of tone it down a bit. So it goes from this to this. So yeah, it's the same sample, same part, just pitched down an octave. And then underneath it, I had the original part that was a lot busier. I kind of liked how it was so busy. I still wanted it somewhere, so I was like, oh, I'll put it under the lower octave part, but just way in the background. So it's kind of like laying a bed for everything to kind of sit on top of. Yeah, I like that a lot. And that's just setting to a reverb as well. And then at the end, I think when the main melody drops out and it is just the bed, it goes to Valhalla. So it kind of swells up in the reverb, and automates the volume up a lot from like minus 15 dB to minus 5 dB. It's a lot. And yeah, it's just swelling up in the reverb so that when it finishes, the track kind of just has a nice little fade out like that at the end. At the end I have this piano part as well, which is just another Labs piano, soft piano. There's really nothing special about it. It just sounds really pretty. So yeah, that's basically everything except for this synth. Which is just another Juno. I love the Juno, it's my favorite synth. Crystallizer EN, vintage verb with like no low passing on the EQ, so it's really a lot of high end in the reverb because I want it to be as sparkly and shiny as possible. And then I felt it wasn't cutting through enough, so I put another, like I doubled it an octave down. So when I do that, that higher octave serves as the sparkly stuff, but that lower octave, you can actually hear the notes being played, so you can hear the part. But yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of the beat. Our sends, yeah, are just the reverb, Valhalla Vintage Verb, J37, and then effect rack, which has the delay for the snare. And then on my master track, I'm gonna get yelled at here. I was in a rush. I literally just did a smiley face, EQ. So, boosted the highs, boosted the lows, didn't touch the mids. And that was it. Just because it was a beat battle, you know? I just want it to be loud and abrasive. And then Ozone Maximizer, which is like a limiter, but weirder. And I just chucked a threshold to get it sounding as loud as possible. If you're not redlining, you're not headlining. I don't make the rules. But yeah, that's basically the whole beat. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Ken and Dots, giving us the opportunity.